Episode 9 is set to introduce many different pieces of both Jedi and Sith lore into this story by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really curious about when it comes to this movie is exactly how JJ is going to utilize all the different pieces of the Jedi and Sith lore that will be used in a way in order to move through some of the characters like Kylo Ren and Rey through this story from start to finish of the film. Now, what's really intriguing about the Jedi and Sith lore is that it will offer a lot of new answers, of course, of moments in the past well before the events of course, the sequels, originals, and even the prequel trilogy era. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting and could very well be quite controversial among many Star Wars fans around the world. Now, specifically, a description of Rey inside of the Lost City, where it's described that she is standing in front of a large statue that is said to be the statue of the First Jedi. It's described that she is reading the book of the First Jedi while she is sitting on a large stone bench next to R2-D2. It's said that in the book lies a secret by the First Jedi, revealing the location within the runes that reveal the origins of the light side of the Force. It's described that in the book it explains that thousands of years before the Empire, that it was the ancient Sith who discovered the origins of the light side, and how there are two sides of the Force. It said that the Jedi adopted this knowledge from the Sith during a time of peace, before the Great Divide, after the Sith learned the power of the Beyond. Additionally, it's also said and described that part of the conflict between the Jedi and the Sith grew due to the Sith offering their knowledge of these two sides of the Force, where the Jedi used it to create an order/organization, where it's described it forced the Sith in a position to create their own organization as well. The last goes over Rey closing the book and storing it in her backpack and walking away from the statue with R2-D2. It said that in her right hand she holds the First Jedi's kyber crystal necklace. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do stand out to me at least, and why I feel it's going to be quite controversial to some fans, of course, that are really, in tune with, what was done in the EU and what is actually done in the current canon under Disney. Now, first things first, the First Jedi, we've been hearing about this character for a very long time now. He is long gone and dead, but the statue and his legacy remain within the Lost City and within the Jedi ruins. So with that being said, what's really interesting about all of this is that during a time of peace between both the Jedi and the Sith, it is the Sith who actually discovered the origins of the light side of the Force, and of course there being two sides of the Force, both the dark and the light, and offering this knowledge to, of course, the Jedi, where the Jedi actually used that knowledge in order to create an organization / an order that caused a conflict between both the Sith and the Jedi. Now, not only was it because of this, it was also because of the Sith discovering the power of the Beyond, but the Sith actually also had an issue with the Jedi creating an organization based on that knowledge that the Sith discovered. So now you can kind of see exactly where J.J. Abrams is trying to go in this movie, is to kind of justify the Sith means, right? The Siths, basically their belief and exactly why the Jedi may very well be different in comparison to their philosophy. I think that a good portion of the second act of the film is really going to change how we view the prequel trilogy and, of course, the original trilogy, either for better or worse. We're not quite sure exactly how it's going to turn out. But so far, from what I'm hearing right now, it sounds like it could be controversial to some fans out there that are really into the Jedi specifically. Now, we do know that the Jedi are going to play somewhat of a big role in this movie when it comes to the lore. We do know that a lot of the lore is going to be explained in this film in order to make us better understand what happened thousands of years ago, before the events of course, the prequel trilogy era. And we also know that JJ is using the Jedi and Sith lore as a way to tie it into the new Star Wars trilogy, which I think is just, another piece, that tells us that this new trilogy is indeed going to be based within the Old Republic, as we heard from the reports just a couple of weeks ago. So the other piece that I do want to go over is how Rey is actually walking away from the statue, holding what is described to be the first kyber crystal itself that was developed by the First Jedi. So the first kyber crystal necklace by the First Jedi himself, it's actually described to be a clear crystal, like a white crystal of some kind. And that's a very interesting one for sure, because we've never seen something like that on film in history within the Star Wars franchise, within the Skywalker saga itself. Chance that Jedi could very well make a return in Episode 9 in some way, shape, or form. You know, maybe something happened to the planet where it was able to stabilize itself. We only know that a large portion of it was destroyed. So, moving past all of this, what I do really enjoy about J.J. Abrams is that he's really trying to insert a lot of Jedi and Sith lore that's going to make us view the Jedi and the Sith in a different way. Like I say, this could be a good or a bad thing for many Star Wars fans. I myself, however, I feel a little mixed on this. I'm not quite sure if this is the best way to go about doing things. I'm just going to have to wait until the movie arrives come December of 2019. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.